If you're not sure how to comply with training and awareness requirements from ISO 27001, then this video is for you. So in this video today, I'll explain you exactly what the requirements are from these clauses 7.2 and 7.3, also how to choose the topics for your training and awareness, and what is the best way to deliver these training and awareness sessions. And I'll also show you a couple of ISO 27001 training and awareness programs from Advisera's learning management system. So after you watch this video, you'll have a very clear idea on how to comply with these requirements from ISO 27001 and what you have to prepare to be ready for certification. So ISO 27001 clause 7.2 is called competence, and basically it requires that any person in the company that performs any kind of security related activity must have the knowledge or experience for this task. So let's say that you've introduced some kind of a new backup system for your server. If your existing administrators do not know how to use this new system, then you'll have to send them for a training that will actually teach them how to use this new technology. Or if you have a new internal auditor in your company for ISO 27001, then you have to send this person to ISO 27001 internal auditor course, where he or she will learn everything that he or she needs to know about auditing and about this standard. And these were examples for individual competencies, whereas you might have also a situation where you introduced a new password management system that everyone in the company is using, and in this case you will need to train all of your employees in the company on how to use this new system. And the best way to find out what kind of training you need is to go through all of your security policies and procedures, see who needs to do what, and then perform a gap analysis and see if everyone is really skillful enough to perform all of these activities. Now, the standard also allows you to hire new people because of these skills, or to introduce a program of mentorship, but in reality, in large majority of cases, you will send your employees for training programs. Now, ISO 27001 clause 7.3 is called awareness, and it requires that all of the employees in your company have to be made aware of your cybersecurity policies and procedures, and also in their role of enhancing security. And for that purpose, some kind of a group awareness training is the best way to comply. And just to mention, there is also this control 6.3 from the Annex A, which is also around security awareness and training, which has very similar requirements to these clauses 7.2 and 7.3. Now, as you noticed, some of these trainings will be targeted towards certain individuals. And in this case, you will send these individuals for particular courses that are related directly towards what their role with regards to these security activities is. And when it comes to ISO 27001, there are four most popular courses. So ISO 27001 Foundations course, which presents you the basics of the standards. As I already mentioned, ISO 27001 Internal Auditor course, which is for internal auditors. ISO 27001 Lead Auditor course, which is only for certification auditors, so nothing that would be interesting for in-company training, and also ISO 27001 Lead Implementer course, which is intended for people who are running ISO 27001 projects, so this would be the most appropriate for, let's say, CISO or a project manager. Now, if you send your employees to individual courses, that's rather easy, but if you have to organize a group training, now this is a little bit more challenging, so I'll give you a couple of tips on which topics to choose and how to organize this kind of a training. Now, regarding topics, the best is really to focus on these clauses 4 to 10. These are the mandatory clauses from the main part of ISO 27001. And for general cybersecurity awareness, you can pick from a range of topics that are related to cybersecurity hygiene. What are hackers? What are viruses? How to perform backup on your devices? How to physically protect your devices? And so on and so forth. And for these trainings, the best is really to organize these topics for specific groups of employees in a way that are really relevant to them. So for example, for senior management, you can focus on this clause 5, which defines requirements for top-level information security policy, setting the top-level objectives for your security, and also making this connection between security and the business strategy of the company. And for heads of the departments, you can focus on clauses 6, which is around listing the assets and doing the risk assessment and treatment, and also clause 8, which is around operations. while for IT employees you might focus on controls from Annex A from this section 8 around technological controls. Now there are three ways to deliver a training. First one would be the instructor-led classroom type training. This is basically where you gather all the relevant employees in one physical location, and then you have instructor who is taking them through the whole training. The second type is this instructor-led live online training, where basically all the employees connect to the training through Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and then instructor is taking them through the course, through the training in real time, and basically presents them online everything that is needed. And the third type of training are pre-recorded online videos that are then delivered to your employees through a learning management system. Now, each of these three types have advantages and disadvantages. For this classroom type training, the advantage is that people can very easily ask questions and get the explanations, but the problem is to actually get all of the employees at the same place at the same time. This instructor-led live online training is good because it's easier to organize. However, people might feel a little bit harder to ask questions, and there also might be some challenges in organizing training if your company has offices in different time zones. Now, these pre-recorded videos are the easiest to organize, but then employees need to find some other way of asking questions if something is not clear to them. And I would say the more the topic is complex and the group is, let's say, smaller, it's better to go towards instructor-led courses, whereas if you have a large group of people, especially if they're in a different time zones, then it's better to go for these pre-recorded online courses. Okay, I'll show you now an example on how to organize ISO 27001 training and awareness program for a group of people through a learning management system. I'm showing you now this Advisera's company training academy. So basically this is a learning management system we developed specifically for cybersecurity frameworks. And as you can see here, I have already created a couple of training programs for different frameworks for NIS2, 27001, security awareness, DORA, GDPR, and so on. Here you can see lessons library. So there is a big number of lessons, hundreds of them, and so when you go for a filter, you can actually filter them out by a specific standard. So let's say ISO 27001, when you apply the filter, you will see only these lessons related to ISO 27001. And let me show you now how you actually set up a new training for a group of employees. So you select here a framework, let's say 27001, and then the system already suggests you automatically predefined programs for a specific target groups within your company. So let's say that you want to organize a training for your senior management, and then click continue. Then you have to select which country you want to go for. Let's say that you want to go for a worldwide training, you select the language and then move on. And then the system already suggests you specific lessons that are appropriate for senior management. Since this is not only a training for ISO 27001, this is also cybersecurity awareness, then you will see a mix of these ISO 27001 topics and cybersecurity awareness topics. So as you can see, here are some cybersecurity awareness topics, and here you see these ISO 27001 topics. Now, of course, you can remove some of these topics if you don't think they're appropriate. You can also rearrange these lessons so that they're displayed in a different sequence. And then when you move on, then you have to set the frequency on how often these people have to watch these video lessons. So let's say that you want them to see this once, let's say, per week, that you want them to see this on Fridays. Define the start of the program, and you define how often you want this to be repeated, let's say every 2 years, and then click continue. And then you simply enter the email addresses of all these people, and then they will start receiving these notifications through email in this frequency that you have defined. So let's just put one email address here and then click continue. Of course, you can enter several email addresses there, and then you define what are you going to show. Are you going to show only the videos, or videos and quizzes, and videos and quizzes and test questions? And then when these quizzes and test questions will be displayed, and then you basically activate the program. Now, of course, once the program starts, then you will have in your dashboard a very detailed reports on how each and every student performed. So as you can see, organizing this training and awareness for a larger group of people is rather easy using this kind of a tool. Okay, hope this was helpful. And to see for yourself how this company training academy works, click the link in the description below to sign up for a free trial where you can actually go through these videos in this LMS and also assign them to your colleagues so that you get a feeling on how it works in practice. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss any of my new videos, and I publish videos every week. Thanks for watching.